So I wasn't planning on filming this, but I very soon realized this is going to be way more involved than I expected. It is Tuesday morning. I'm preparing early actually for Thanksgiving lunch. What we're going to do is have Betsy wanted to go and have lunch with my mom on Thanksgiving. All my siblings are out of town. I was going to host at our house, but all my siblings are out of town. My son will be home tonight, and so we'll have a 1:00 lunch. That said, I had already planned either way to do sous vide turkey breast and a lamb roast, but I'm just going to do turkey breast since it's just three of us. That said, I've never sous vide'd a turkey breast, I don't think, because I realized when I opened it up, we went on Sunday to go, we went on Saturday to go watch Nate play anyway. Stopped by Harris Teeter, the grocery store, to go get turkey because I figured better to get it Saturday before as opposed to the Monday or Tuesday. But we got a great deal on it. It was ended up being $1.50 a pound or something like that. But that said, in my mind, I just figured when it was called, I got a turkey breast, that it was boneless. It's not. It's bone-in. Not a big deal with sous vide. In fact, it's even better because sous vide's awesome with anything that has a bone in it because bones are what suck the heat out whenever you cook it, and sous vide is amazing with that. That said, my go-to website for cooking is Serious Eats. Love it. Kenji Lopez. And now I didn't realize guy Ed was the one who founded it, and I'm going to start listening to their podcast. Ed Levine. But Kenji's method, and what I was going to do was I was going to put smoked bacon in the bag and kind of get the fat and but more importantly, the smoked flavor off of the bacon and make that sacrificial bacon. And then when I go to finish it, wrap it in bacon and roast it. That was my idea. Still might do that. But Kenji has a great recipe for turkey breast where he debones the breast, but he calls it crispy skin turkey breast. And I wasn't planning on doing this because I just figured this was a boneless breast. But when I opened up the bag, I'm like, crap, it's basically a turkey breast. That's a turkey without legs or wings. So I am going to pivot now, follow Kenji's recipe, which is involved because you got to debone the breast. Debating whether or not to. The advantage of deboning the breast is it's easier to eat when you go to eat, but also less risk of puncturing the bag. And you can use the bone for gravy. But it's just more work, and frankly, my knife skills aren't great, but hey, you got to practice. And the other thing is to peeling off the skin. So what Kenji's method is, you peel the skin off, and it does look fucking cool. And then you roast it at 475 for 20-30 minutes. And you do that beforehand and just reheat it. And I think my mom would kind of dig having crispy skin. Betsy would cringe at it, but Nate and I and my mom would love it. So I think that's what I'm going to do. And the reason that's why I'm going to film this is because it's going to be kind of involved. And what I was going to do is I was going to cheat. First, I went out to the garden and got some rosemary. And then, I was going to put thyme in it and do all the traditional with garlic. Sorry, chopped. Convenience. But then, I was going through the pantry to find some thyme, which was probably old and expired. And just was going to cheat and just coat this in oil and douse it in garlic and herb, and then throw some of this stuff in there too. But yeah. Anyway, so I'm going to pause it, get my knife sharpened up, and you can watch me flounder trying to take the skin off of this thing. But yeah, this will be fun. I suck at tying knots. That's one, to add another thing onto the list of stuff I'd like to learn how to do is be good at tying knots. And it's just a repetitive practice thing, and I just, I don't do it that much. Oddly, I should at work, but I don't, so I don't practice that much, and I don't get good at it. Though back to the van, I did do some not using some parachute cord for stuff. Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, all right, I'm gonna go cut a couple more lengths. I was just trying to guesstimate the approximate length. Didn't want to cut too long, too short. Always better to cut long. Yeah, we'll do. Oh man, my little oyster came loose. Gonna tuck that bad boy in there. Okay. Honestly, I think the point of tying it is when you go to finish it, right? Because then not all the pieces are just flopping around and you're not really fishing it out. So hopefully what it is when you go to pull this out of the bag, because it's going to be a gelatinous mess. This is the downside of sous vide, is you have to finish it. If you care about presentation, there's times when I've cooked chicken breast, which is sous vide chicken breast is arguably one of the best things you could cook on it. That really, it's one of the best things in the sense that it's really hard to replicate that without any other method. Sous vide chicken breast and pork loin, it doesn't dry it out, it's moist. But as good as chicken breast is, I suspect, it's going to do just as well with a turkey breast. Yeah, when people ask me about sous vide, even now, I'm like, chicken breast, as pedestrian as that is, it gets screwed up so often that when you try it sous vide, that's when you're like sold, at least in my opinion. You're like, oh my God, that was so easy, and it turned out so incredibly juicy and so tender that then you're completely sold on the whole process, because you're like, that took no effort and the results were amazing. That is why cooking something that's typically screwed up left and right, like turkey, chicken breast, steak, is great on sous vide, because when it goes well, and 90% of the time it goes well, the only time it doesn't go well is the finishing part, then you're totally sold on the whole process. What I'm going to do is, I got to run this a little bit, is I'm going to coat I already tossed some rosemary and some kosher salt in here, not too much because I think there's enough salt in the herb package. I'll move this over here. I'm gonna flip this. And then I'm just gonna slide it in the bag, seal it, and we are done until I come back. And let this marinate for 2 days, right? Day and a half. I'm gonna cook this for 3 hours, like Kenji mentions, at 145. He said that was the best. And this is why I like Serious Eats, because what he's really good at is showing the various temperatures that when you sous vide stuff at, and what yields what. That actually stayed together. It didn't completely flop apart. But it does get crap all over the bag edge. But he did 130, 140, 150, and split the middle and said that 145 is the best. So I'm going to go with Kenji's method at 145 at 2 hours and 45 minutes, and I'm just going to make it 3. So if we're leaving here at 12:15-ish, I need to start cooking this about 8, and to give time to finish it and do all that stuff. So now we are going to minimal cleanup. I'm going to leave that. I'm going to air dry that. And let that air dry. And throw a little bit on. I don't know if we can put oil in there. I'm gonna skip that. Okay, so we're gonna vacuum seal this, and I will bid you adieu until I go to finish this. Anyway. Hopefully this turns out pretty well. So I jumped a step. What I was going to do is, one of my favorite tools, recent favorite tool, cooking tools, is a cold smoker, which I got for like, I think $29.95 on Amazon, and for 30 bucks. If it sucked, wasn't a big deal. I love this thing. Absolutely love this thing. So much to the point where I abuse the crap out of it and let the crucible, so when you burn wood, what this does is you burn wood chips, small amounts of wood chips, and this has a fan, a bellows fan that pulls air across the burning embers and just blows smoke, not heat, but smoke through the orifice into a bag, into a bellows, or anything you can have. To anything you can put over whatever drink or food that you want to smoke. So conveniently, I had this in a bag, and I was just going to put liquid smoke in this and be done with it. But I think what I'm going to try is, since I already double sealed this, I'm going to cut a corner off and stick the hose in the end and just smoke it for a little bit. Okay, so this is how I'm going to do it, pardon the semi-hygienic conditions. Which works out great is, hopefully this won't, I need to prop that up when I'm done filming. I've got the hose inserted into a tiny slit here, and I'm going to start the fan. You can't really hear it with all the rain going on. And then I'm going to start trying to burn cherry wood chips. The good thing is the fan draws air across and kind of speeds up the process. So there you go. It's kind of, I think you can see it smoking. I actually kind of wish I might clamp that, put a clip on it and elevate this so the juices don't contaminate the top of my dirty grill. But that's the process. Let's see how well this works. Oh, you can see the fire. Anyway, that's it. Ironically, at night, this is actually more dramatic, but you can see it's filling up now. And I've got a clip on it to try to seal. You can see the smoke coming out. But man, when you put it in a bag or under saran wrap and let it sit, clear your senses, and then pull the saran wrap back, you can really smell the smoke. It's very dramatic. And foods that aren't so dense, I think fish really absorbs the smell. Liquids absorb the smell really, really quick. Applewood smoked sake is amazing. And burgers are pretty good. Burgers are very good. Without having to use charcoal or hardwood to smoke your burgers or grill your burgers. Well, I'll pre-smoke it and then throw it on the grill. But yeah, so we'll see how this works.